Welcome to Friendly Math 101. Today's lesson is over, an intro to trigonometry. There are 6 trigonometric ratios, which just means the ratio of two sides of a right triangle. So the ratio between two sides of a right triangle. The 3 most common are sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine, cosine, and tangent. Sine, cosine, and tangent. And we have a clever way of remembering which two sides sine, cosine, and tangent involve. So this is SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. The S in the SO stands for sine. Sine is the ratio of the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. The C stands for cosine. A is the adjacent side. Adjacent means next to. And then H stands for hypotenuse. And then we have TOA. The T is for tangent. O is opposite. And A is adjacent. So SOHCAHTOA, and we will see what this means in our example. So here's our first example. It asks us for sine of angle A, cosine of angle A, and tangent of angle A, which means we're only going to be looking at this angle A here. That will determine our opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse sides. Well, the hypotenuse of a right triangle is always the same. It doesn't matter what angle we're looking at. That is, the hypotenuse is across from the right angle. So this is the hypotenuse. Now, since we're looking at angle A, we're going to have an opposite side and an adjacent side. The adjacent side is the one right next to the angle that we're talking about. So angle A, this is going to be adjacent. The opposite side is going to be the side opposite of that angle. So here is the opposite side. Now let's remember SOHCAHTOA. Sine, O over H. Cosine, A over H. Tangent, TOA, O over A. All we're going to do is write the ratio between these and then try to reduce. So sine O over H, I already labeled my sides. O is 48, H is 94, and you would want to reduce that to whatever it reduces to. Cosine A over H, A is 64, and H is 94, and tangent, or TOA, O over A. O is 48, A is 64. And again, whatever these would reduce to, you would want to write the reduced ratio, but either way, it's correct. Okay, moving on. Here's our next example. Now, if you look right away, you can see that we're going to be talking about 2 different angles. So you have to make sure you're looking at the correct angle as you're doing each one of these. Okay, and this was not labeled, so I'm going to, it should have had the side links in there, so I'll just label them. So tangent of x. Tangent is O over A, TOA, and for this one we're looking at this angle x. So I want the opposite side. here's my x. This is always going to be the hypotenuse. It doesn't matter what angle I'm looking at. It will always be the hypotenuse. But for x, we are looking for the opposite side first. Well, this angle is opposite of 4. So my O will be 4. My adjacent side is the side right next to it, which is the 3. Sine. Sine is so. O over H. My H is 5. That one's already labeled. For my opposite side, make sure you look at the correct angle. This one's talking about x. My opposite side of this angle x is the 4. So there we get 4/5. Let's move on to cosine. Cosine is A over H. H is 5. Again, it doesn't matter what angle. H is always going to be that 5 there in this triangle. Now I'm going to look at this angle W. So I'm not looking at X anymore. I'm looking at W. And I want the adjacent side. So my adjacent side is going to be the side right next to W, which is this 4. And then I have tangent of W. So tangent is O over A. That's the TOA. The opposite side, and here I'm looking at W, so still looking here. The opposite of W would be 3. It's the side right opposite of that, 3. The adjacent of W is 4. The adjacent right next to would be that 4. And those would be our ratios. Thank you for watching, and for more math tutorials, please subscribe to our channel, Friendly Math 101.